Hello, everyone. We're doing contact page.
Up looking at contact page. All right. So we're looking at I guess a visit us page. You'd normally call this a contact page, right?
Normally, yeah, I was surfing around the internet like you do, and I stumbled upon an example of a contact page. I needed to give some credit where credit was due, specifically for local or small businesses that have like a physical retail presence. They want me to go
Mm-hmm.
into their store to buy stuff. But I've run into some issues with contact pages for businesses just not being up to date or not having the info that I want on them, like their hours or their location or kind of any other special information I might need to know. And I've seen countless people complain about this on
Yeah,
Twitter too.
yeah. Number one, I mean, usually this is a retail site. You did point that out. It's a local retail site. It's a craftery. They sell really gorgeous local prints and arts and all kinds of fun home stuff. But it is a retail store, so you do have to get there at some point. And the first thing that I always look for on the contact page, which is a really weird name for that page, is hours. Like, what time are you open? When can I get there?
Pretty natural. Well, we can see here, look, Inkwell has kind of zhuzhed it up a little bit and called it visit.
I know, I
Um,
appreciate that.
so, that's interesting. Normally I look out for the word contact, but I don't think I have any problem with the word visit. I understand what it means, and I do kind of want to visit them.
I do sort of expect that kind of thing to be on the right side of the nav too. Like you
Yeah.
always, with a horizontal nav like that, you're always ending with contact us. Oh, also contact us if you want.
Yeah, and as I was just kind of scrolling on the page, some logo soup at the bottom, of course, important. They've got a nice, just in case you didn't get it in the main nav, you've scrolled to the bottom of the page, and boom, here it is again. Visit us. They've got a
So
map.
I can see a map. How do you feel about these maps?
This is pretty good. Okay, so I can see by hovering over it. This is going to take us to their contact page, their visit page, as it is.
Or
Um,
hours and location.
Boom.
Which actually, you know what? Visit's really cute, but if this is the name of the page, I might prefer that on the navigation. Personally.
Yeah, technically they even call it that in the URL, hours, location. But cool. Look at this, Nick. You've got your hours right here every day of the week.
I like it. What's
Certified
Thursday? What's the
freak.
sun icon mean?
The sun icon, I actually don't know. I checked out the source code, and it just kind of looks like it's just an emoji
It's
added in there.
literally an emoji.
The only thing I can figure is maybe it means like this is the day that they're open a little bit longer, because it says
Okay.
like 7 p.m. I'm not quite,
Daylight hours, I guess.
yeah, I'm not quite like associating the sun with that, but hey, it's something. Better than
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
I as the user am immediately like, this seems like the best day to go. Go
yeah,
this day.
maybe
We're in a good mood.
maybe they.
We're all stocked up.
Something I noticed here we don't want to skip over is COVID-19 safety protocols. So I'm kind of glad they have this here, just
Mhm.
because I'm like, during these times, I'm still wondering, like, what's the deal? Like, is there any like special restrictions about your store? We've got this little purchasey thing popping up. That's kind of interesting. So you got some normal COVID stuff. We don't need to read this whole
Mhm.
thing through, but why not? This is really good to have. It's
Uh,
everyone's
kind of
wondering
brutal.
about what's different.
It is nice, and I know that there's specificities between businesses, but it's a tiny bit sad that you need this or that they would be liable for this, because this page basically just says, please follow the rules.
Yeah, and
Like,
it
there's not
doesn't.
going to be a situation where they're like, 2 masks, 3 if you got them. Make like a ninja mask out of other masks, and that's our special thing. But it's cool that they have it here, because people do look a bit sad that you need to keep telling people.
For me, I like it because now I can see, oh, they've been to this page like June. So
Mhm.
there's like a couple months ago, I know that they've like looked at their contact page and updated it, I guess. So it's just like a subtle hint to me that this page has been updated recently. I've I
Yeah.
don't want to call anyone out, but I've been biting my tongue a little bit. But
Oh.
I've gone to some local businesses' websites to try and go there, check their
Mhm.
hours, gotten there, and realized that they're closed for they have new COVID hours, which I'd get. But it's
Mhm.
like, put that on your website, folks. Like,
I
it's extremely frustrating. Like, again, I get that it's crazy times, but you know,
Well, it's a little bit different now because you have things like Squarespace, and what was this site built with? Do you figure Shopify?
This is a Shopify site, yeah.
I see that rewards button and I think Shopify. So
you
you have these CMS services out there where people can actually go in and edit their small business websites. For the longest time, that hasn't been the case. So people, they could afford to get a website done. They would get the website done. Updating it costs a lot of money. And so it just usually would sit on the internet forever and not get updated. So as a consumer, I think you're right, because I'm used to these types of things as not being up to date at all. Remember the old days, like, someone would get a website built and it would cost them like $5,000 in 6 months to get it changed in any capacity at all.
We'll make make our sites in WordPress, and we would make them editable. And I would think, given WordPress, they were pretty good. But I mean, WordPress compared to like Shopify or Squarespace, there's kind of no comparison in terms of like ease of use. Like WordPress isn't, I would say, it doesn't look easy. It's not as bad as it looks, but and there's stuff you can do. But yeah, all that to say, you're right. It's a lot easier to update this stuff these days.
Yeah. And, to the point that I recommend that, like, I mean, you and I are a little bit older than, doing local freelance websites, I think. So we don't get to do too much of it anymore, but I would recommend it to small business owners. Like, just get Squarespace. Shopify specifically, like, you can run and maintain and click and drag and edit that page in a way that is so cheap and so easy and fun, that's probably your first stop, I would think.
Yeah, if you're selling stuff, Squarespace. If your main thing is to sell things, then I think Shopify is probably kind of a no-brainer. Squarespace, I would say it's a little better if you wanted to put together more of an informational site, but if the focus is on e-commerce like this, then yeah, no brainer. And you get all these, there's a whole like app store in Shopify with like, I'm sure this little bar at the top is some kind of plugin. This rewards thing, I've seen it everywhere. It's a plugin. We've got this little thing popping up when people buy stuff. That's another plugin.
So what else have we got on here? Services offered. I see that's kind of cool given COVID, because like what do you do? Is it just curbside delivery, or do is there other options? It seems like there is here.
Yeah, that's really interesting. They even have like a virtual shopping service where you can do FaceTime or Google or video email or whatever, or even additional hours by email, so you can make an appointment to come in. So it's kind of like, the hours here don't work for you, we can do like a virtual tour type deal, or we'll make a special appointment for you. Like,
local delivery is cool. I've kind of relied on that in the last year and a half, is the local delivery thing, which is really nice. What else do we got?
We've got, of course, the visiting section, so we know when you're open, and we know some other stuff we can do. But where are you? We got a nice address here and a phone number. We have an email link. And then, of course, a map shows us where we are. I can click on that map and it's going to open in Google.
That's what I expect. A lot of sites like this, usually you'll see the embedded Google map on the page. Like it's not an image, it's like a dynamic Google map that's been iframed into the page.
Yeah.
Those are cool. I personally find them kind of useless. Like, what I want from this is to get a general idea of the location and then click into Google Maps where I can go do stuff with this information. If it's on the page and I can drag it and it's dynamic, you've got this big clunky weighty component that takes time to load on your page, and people aren't really going to use it, at least not for the desired intent.
That's a good point. The page load time and stuff like that, to pull in a map that really all you want to do is see the location. And I know there's solutions for this too, but sometimes when you're scrolling and you hit the map, it'll like start to zoom around. There's proper ways to deal with that, but
I think that there's ways to look at this screenshot of a map that we're looking at now too, that are beneficial. Like, so we live in a port city. So this gray edge on the map is the waterfront. It's the downtown. So this is where all of the tourists that go, everybody that comes in on cruise ships, if they're ever allowed again, the floating disease incubators, when those come steaming through town. So that's where everybody is. So I would think, as a tourist, well, I want to understand where this place is in relation to the downtown, in relation to Citadel Hill in the lower left. That's a big, It's a big hill with a fort on it, and it's a major attraction. So you would almost look at it like, I just need to give people an understanding of like, hey, I'm close to downtown, or hey, I'm close to this place that you're probably going to be anyway, and then let them click in, and they're going to use their Google Maps app, or in a browser or whatever, to do all the other stuff.
To get there, yeah. This is I think this is really good, and yeah, it lets you control the design of it a bit, and it looks better. And then, if that's not enough, this is kind of what made me think like, whoa, this is kind of gone over the top in a good way. Is we've got these Halifax transit routes, so all the buses, I've never even heard of half of these buses, to be honest. But that could be useful if you're bussing around. Street parking, parking's always a thing. There's some info about places to park. Even there's a parking garage nearby. And they even drop a land acknowledgement in there, so to cap it all off. During the last civic holiday, I was on their site, and this was another like aha moment. Is they actually had, and this is how I knew that they were regularly updating it, was whatever day it was. I think it was a Monday that we had off for Natal Day. That they had a note here that says like it was in red, like closed for whatever holiday, and I was like, oh wow, they even went in and updated it especially for that. So they're.
And I mean, you can be forward thinking about that stuff, but it obviously, to me, this is a company that understood the importance of online, or they're getting a certain amount of business through people coming to this contact page. So they wake up and they go, oh, there's a holiday this week, we have to update the website, which is, I don't want to say rare, but again, hugely beneficial. It changed the way that you interacted with them. Oh yeah, and you tweeted at them. But yeah, do you think they were worried we were gonna rip on them?
Maybe. Just like, yeah, we're gonna get you. I mean, that would be fun. I do want to rip on some sites. So if you have some sites that need ripping on, let us know.
Yeah, like the big ones. I don't want to dump on any local businesses, but there's some bigger UX things going on out there for sure that we can.
Yeah, so we mentioned
dig into.
On Twitter, saying that
start a YouTube beef with a local art store.
I'd love to start a good beef.
If you did want to start a beef or had any questions or comments, you can get at us at the hithereshow at and Hi There Tweets. Don't forget to like and subscribe and smash and appreciate and adore. And I think that's all the call outs.
If you're designing a contact page, a visit us page, whatever you want to call it, check out Inkwell in Halifax for some inspiration. They got it all. And, when in doubt, and this is what, we always say in the biz, Nick, is their response to us when we complimented them was, always a work in progress, of course. But we try to think as if we were the customer and what info would be most useful. So that's kind of it, man. That's the key right there.
Fair enough. That's the crux of this whole video.
Put yourself in the user's shoes and think about the types of things they want. Help them get there. Help them give you money. If you want people's money, think about how you can help people do that. Tell them where you are. Tell them when you're open. Tell them how to get in touch with you. Give them a personal shopping offer if you need to. There's really no excuse. If you're not buying something from Inkwell Boutique, then, well, I just don't know. You've no excuse. Go there.
Yeah, why did you even come here if that's your problem? I love it. Anything else you want to cover off on we didn't get into forums here today. I feel like that's a whole other can of worms. This is just nice sentiment for your users. This is a nice thing to do for them. And I kind of think that's it. How do we end these things?